We're live. Let's get started. Rocco,
Let's go.
thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for inviting me.
Absolute pleasure. Just for a bit of background, so we met playing poker.
Yeah,
We said to each other that we would see each other in the final, and I think it was out of 18 people, we came in the top 3.
exactly.
So not a bad start.
No, at all.
And yeah, we got talking, and you were saying how you are writing your own book. Would love to know a bit more about that, and yeah, how it's coming along, and what made you want to write a book.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, first of all, I'm here in Bali working remotely, and yeah, also for like escape a little bit from the let's say the normal life back in Italy. And I'm writing this book about my past and about also this time of my life that is pretty exciting too. I'm born from a straw. Okay, that's the beginning of the book. And I will tell you this short story that my father had cancer when he was 20, and cancer on his testicles. So the doctor said, like, okay, the cancer is gone, but we have to remove one of them, so you can't have a child probably. And was 32 years ago. So at the end, when my father and my mother decide to have a child, they said, okay, let's try. And they start trying in a normal way and it doesn't work. And then went to some doctors and it doesn't work. And so my father one day is pretty creative man. He said, okay, Marta, to my mother, okay, stay on the bed, open your legs, and I'm gonna go and take a straw. And then, he went to the toilet and masturbate, and then, took the sperm inside the straw, went back to my mother vagina and sent me there. I know it's a pretty strong story, but that's the beginning. Yeah.
Wow.
So they really wanted me. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and they found a way to do it.
Yeah, they found a way to do that.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
And everything else just wasn't working, and then you just sort of popped out. Yeah, that's brilliant. What a way to start. What an introduction into the world.
Yeah, it's a cool way. And then basically my life went pretty good, like the first 11 years of my life. Everything was pretty amazing, and good family, good environment, good schools back in Florence, Italy. And then one day we were all the family was doing a holiday trip in an island called Il Giglio, is in Tuscany. And then my uncle, the brother of my mother, was there too with his son, with my cousin. And then one day he said, like, I'm not feeling great, so I'm gonna stay home tonight. He was a doctor. And so we said, oh, fine. So we went out without him. And when we went back home, me and my cousin, we were really really happy to go and see, how was him. So we ran the stairs and we go inside the house. We went inside the house, and he killed himself with a bag around his neck.
And you saw that?
Yeah,
yourself?
we saw that.
And remind me, how old were you at this time?
12 years old.
12.
Yeah, and that day is the day that triggers something and change some things inside me. Like I discovered that in this world you have also like black, not only like colors or white.
So that was the first time you were like, okay, well, there's darkness in this world, or that was the first time something really fucking serious happened, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it was quite of a shock. And then it's strange when these things happen, because like the members of your family need to take care of their pain, right? And but you are a kid, so you need to take care of you can't take care of your pain too. So what are you gonna do? No, it's a bit tricky situation. So yeah, I did what I can, and after 1 year my parents also break up, and and this was the second like shot for me.
And both of these happened within a year, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like, yeah, in a year. And then a high school started. So I find ways to cure myself, no, to cure the pain that I was feeling.
From both of those events.
Yeah, from most of these events, I couldn't process the first one, and
Yeah, I guess it's very tricky at that age, because when you're 12, it's like you're not really a child anymore, but you're not really an adult either. So you're neither here nor there. It's like, how do you even process what's going on with yourself, your own brain?
exactly.
It must have been very just strange, or just very difficult for you, right?
Yeah, it was really difficult. And yeah, and also you maybe it's important, I think, for my future, for my kids, no, if something bad happen, that you need to be there for them, like emotionally, and no.
Oh, and back then you would say they weren't quite there for you, or they were obviously very overwhelmed themselves, so they didn't.
Exactly.
Right. So
I mean,
they didn't.
they were there, but not 100%. And maybe
Right.
I needed more, but I'm not I don't care to them to feel guilty or something. It's just life is fine. But
Yeah.
Today I can say that, no. Back in the day, for me, everything was like okay, normal. Yeah, and then I discovered the first, drugs. So I start to use marijuana, and marijuana let me feel lighter in my head.
And were you 13 at this point, or?
Yeah, 13
13.
and 14. Yeah, in Italy we start high school at 14, so I guess 14. And I know this helps, no, a little bit.
And was it quite common back in your sort of friendship group? Was it quite easy to get access to? Was it something you think you would have done anyway if you hadn't have gone through a difficult year? Or do you think it was because of that you wanted an escape?
No, I think I would done it anyway. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's how you do these things. It's not if you do it or not, no. So if you do it for escape from something, that's like no, don't. If you do if you're okay, you want to enjoy, or you want to experience new things, so it's fine. You can do that. And yeah, from there, even in the book, I'm writing this book just because I want to leave something, no? And I think if people in general are more open about the shit that happened in their lives and the shit they came through, like that they fix, the world is a better place, no? And usually when something really bad happened to you in your life, I don't know, big traumas, or like me, strong drug addictions, you keep it as a taboo or something, like, no, I will not tell this to the world. Maybe they will judge me. No, they're feeling, their fear of judgment or something. And I'm doing that to put my face on it, and because that's the best way, I think, for.
And I guess if you have all that detail on there in your story, the idea is that they encourage other people to go ahead and talk about their stuff, right? The stuff that they're keeping in and that's eating away at them.
Yeah, and do the same, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Was it, we'll come back to sort of your upbringing and what happened from there, but I'm interested to see, was there a point in your life where you thought, right, this is the time where I need to sort of tell people about this? What made you think, okay, I need to tell somebody what happened to me when I was younger, all of this type of stuff? Was there a point where that happened for you?
Um, yeah. So even during that period, I had some breaks, like, in the craziness of a drug addiction. The breaks were like when they closed me inside psychiatric hospitals or rehabs, or like homeless places, and in that moments, I had this book and a pen, and I started to write down what's was happening to me, no, in that period, because I thought, fuck, I need to remember these things. So I started to write, and always kept that book with me for that years. And yeah, so that's the first part, no, like I write down these things. And then when I came out finally at 23, and I was completely sober, and I started again from zero my new life, I I read all that again, and I said, fuck, I need to to tell this story, no?
Okay.
And yeah, and then things, like, if I can use some rude terms, from that moment I put like a rocket in my ass, turn it on, and yeah, I stopped that rocket maybe just a couple of months ago.
Okay.
So was like 8 or 9 years of like hard work to get here. And yeah, and in the past 3 years, like 3 years ago, I write down again all the book in a computer, and start to send it to some writers and around Italy, asking them for help. No, because of course I'm not a writer, and I find one really good one that says, okay, Rocco, I will help you with that, and I will not ask you money, but I really believe in this project, in your story, and we're gonna do that. So let's like split we sign a contract. So let's split like 40% to him and 60 to me. It's not about money, but that's how it works. And from there we started to like do more seriously.
Yeah. Okay. And were you, at the time, you said you were writing all this stuff going through your mind at the time, were you writing about the process, or were you just sort of monitoring your thoughts at the time? What was sort of going through your head during this process?
Yeah, so yeah, like episodes, and in a really how you say, like in a serious way, but also in a funny way, no? So I don't know the word in English when you talk about something serious, but you take it from a funny perspective. Okay, so for example, when you use cocaine really hard, and we smoke cocaine really hard, after that you're gonna be paranoid, no, but really a lot. And yeah, I will tell you like one episode so you understand
Sure.
better what I was writing. So for example, so I used cocaine in this train station, abandoned train station, and after that the cocaine ends, and I start to get paranoid. So I said, okay, fuck, I need to get more somehow. So it was night. I went out from this, and there was some light, the light on the street, the highlights. I don't know how they are called, but the light make a shadow of me. And I start thinking, because I was doing pretty bad things to like like drug dealers or stuff in that period to get the money. So my paranoid was about that. So they're gonna kill me. So I start to think that the shadow was going to kill me. That was a guy going to kill me. So pretty hard. And so I start to run. And then I end up in a road with a lot of lights. And so I got like 8 shadows, you know, when you have a lot of shadows around you.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, they're gonna kill me. And I start to fight them, like boxing them, all of them, and screaming, like turning around, like, yeah. And then like I at one point, you know, the paranoid goes away. So like, boom. And I started to look around, and there were all the people on the window of the houses, like looking at me. And I was like, okay. And I went away. So yeah, I was writing all these episodes like that.
Oh, okay. Wow. And yeah, you were saying during that as well, just for reference, how old were you at this point?
Like 19 or 20.
Okay, 1920. And was there a point there where I know you were saying you were having trouble with some drug dealers and that type of thing? From the sounds of it, it sounds like you were very desperate, and that's what addiction is, right? You would do whatever it takes to get it. How did you go from smoking a joint at 12, 13 to this super paranoid state at 19?
Right.
What happened in between there?
Yeah. So so start to smoke joints, and then like you start to smoke more joints, and then you like, and this is not enough to cover your pain or your, you know, thoughts. So I started to experience new drugs. So start to going to party and find some older friends, no, that you take like point of like your big brothers, no, because you miss that. I miss that in my family, no. My father goes away and all these things. So I find these figures in other older people, older than me. So I start to go party and use some cocaine and ketamine and MDMA, ecstasy, everything. But that was like fun, no? The fun part. And then one day, one guy said, you know, Rocco, I have this like yellow cocaine. Let's try this. I said, yeah, let's do that. And I tried this yellow cocaine, and I was really young, really naive. And also I really was enjoying drugs. No, I was selling at that point. I was selling marijuana to have the money to buy the stronger drugs.
I see.
You know?
Right.
I was selling marijuana to all my school, to all my high school, and then I had a small group of people that I sell to, and they sell it for me. I was kind of an entrepreneur back in high school too, and so from there we tried this yellow cocaine that in fact was heroin. And that, you know, that was a strong point of my life, because with heroin, it's like all your problem, like, boom, they're gone for real. No, like it's, and so for me it was even fun, no, to do that, and then for like 3-4 months, I think in a row. I did it every day, but going to school, I was like 14 and a half.
Oh, so you were a functioning heroin addict, essentially.
Yeah.
Like you were still able to go to school.
Yeah. It was the beginning. I was young. I was, you know, having fun. And so for me, it was like a normal thing to do. And of course, I discovered soon, maybe after a few weeks, that was not a yellow cocaine, but was heroin. But I didn't care. I said, okay, it's fine. And then after, of course, then my parents start to like see that my face was changing, my behavior were changing, and, you know, something was happening there. But I never experienced the how you say, the not the addiction, but the the thing that's come after when you don't have the drug.
Oh, they come down.
Yeah.
Oh, you never experienced that?
I never experienced that during that period because I had the money. I was selling drugs, so I had the money to have heroin every day.
Oh, so you were just staying up. That was your mentality.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. I wonder, because when you had your sort of first hit of it, could you immediately tell, like, obviously you're still quite young at the time, but could you tell, right, this is like levels above anything I've tried before? Was it just completely different to, cocaine or MDMA? Was it just, wow, this is different universe? I never even thought this was possible type of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You can tell. It's like at the end is after a few months is like, I mean, the effect, it's still probably one of the best things I ever did in my life. But the side effects, and so it's like having a devil inside, and that will decide for you. No, if you don't have the drugs and you need the drugs, you will do everything possible to get the drug. And I did. No, first you start to like steal at your in your house, no, and because after a while, of course, I spent all the money that I did with selling the marijuana into heroin, and then you need more and more and more, and then at the end, then my parents figure it out, and they bring me to this like place called CERT. Is the addiction hospital where they check your urines and your blood, and if you have any disease, or if you have or which drugs you have in your body.
Oh, because you didn't tell them. You
No.
were like, no, I'm just having a bad day.
I'm having fun, I'm just having fun. It's all fine. They said, no, come. And and so they figure it out. And from that moment, I tried to quit. I really tried to, because this doctor was nice. My family was there with me, so I said, okay, maybe this is.
And which age is this?
16.
16, okay, so we're at,
So from 14 to 16, let's say 2 years of first soft drugs, and then hard drugs, and then heroin all the time.
Right.
And then 16, like I had the first stop coming from the family, and I say, okay, let's quit it. And they gave me this this drug called methadone, and is like a substitute of the heroin. So their like mission is to first substitute the heroin with another opioid, so you are like good, you feel no addiction. Okay. You don't feel the feeling of I need more, because that will cover. And then slowly they go down with the dose, and at the end, like, you quit with that. But as I said, I was pretty naive at that time. So for me, in my mind was, okay, so this is the only way to quit heroin. So I put all my energy. I was really happy to do that. And so I say, okay, let's quit. And I tried for a few months, but in the morning, every morning you go there and they give you this dose of methadone. And after that, I was doing like heroin too. So it wasn't working.
So just to come back as well, because you mentioned with the sort of heroin, you were quite naive, you didn't realize there was a problem. Then your parents found out, and then was it at that same point, because it sounds like you were quite keen to quit straight away, is that right? So once your parents found out, you almost had a reality check and you thought, okay, actually, yes, you're right, I actually do want to quit. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's correct, actually, because I think that these first 2 years was more for me like a request of attention from them, and also
you didn't get it when you were younger, right?
Exactly. So right. I missed that, when my uncle died, and yeah, when they broke up, and I missed that. So then I cover by myself, healing, no, with these drugs. And so when I get back the attention from them was actually a cool feeling, like, okay, so like you care about me, so you can see me, so okay, let's do that, of course, let's quit. I guess it's what happened in my mind, no?
And it's only now that you've put the two together that it's only now you've realized, okay, that's why I was doing all this stuff. Yeah, obviously when you're younger, you don't put two and two together at all.
No. That's I'm realizing all these things now, of course.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. So, okay, so you're back over there, and at first it's not working because you're still taking heroin, right? And as well as the other stuff. So what's your mindset there? Was it like, oh fuck, like I'm gonna be on this shit for life, this is terrible, or did you still have a belief that you could somehow escape it?
No, exactly, that's what you said, like, I'm okay, my life is over, I'm fucked, I can't quit, and I will never quit. And my parents started to be really angry to me after a few months of trying that, because also that they believed that that was the only way, no, for me to get out from it. So one night I took a lot of I think was like 40 or 50 pills of a strong painkiller. So I put a wardrobe like this on the door of my room, and I said, okay, I'm gonna end my life here. And so I took all these pills together, and because of course even in that moment, without the full dosage of heroin every day, and just the methadone and some heroin here and there, I felt again all the pain, of the past, and my parents again were angry to me, and so I said, okay, let's and I was a teenager too, so you do crazy things at that age.
Still about what, 16, 17?
16. Yeah. So I took all these pills in once, and then the day after I wake up in a psychiatric hospital, and that day is when like all the real shit began, because they were like they blocked me on the
they handcuffed you on the
bed, because the how you say, the firefighters came to this, firefighters come to the door and destroy the door, because the wardrobe was on the door,
right?
And I was with no sense and all the drug problems, and so in Italy they manage these things, send you to this like psychiatric hospitals.
Wow. And what was, I don't know if you remember, but so you've woken up, you're not in heaven, you're in this psychiatric hospital. What are you thinking? Are you thinking, oh, yay, I'm alive?
Fuck, it didn't work.
Oh, you were annoyed that it didn't work.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised, because I was reading in the internet how to kill myself like softly, without feeling pain, and that was the way. And yeah, but then when I wake up, I mean, there was all this nurse, and doctors, and straight away that like they said, okay, Rocco, you did something bad. The doctor says that you are in danger about hurting yourself again or hurting your family. So we're gonna go to a court. No, there is a court in Italy for this kind of things, and is this judge, because you are minor. No, so the court will decide, and it doesn't matter what your parent says. Okay, because
I think in the UK you can get arrested on the Mental Health Act, right? It was similar, I guess.
Yeah, I guess
for mental health concerns.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So like this judge at the end, after a few days, he decided that I couldn't be with my parents anymore. I mean, with my mother in my mother's house anymore, but I had to go to a rehab center in the north of Italy until I was 18. So yeah, and that was the worst decision that the society took about me. No, so if there is one thing that I can say bad about how the mental health society or the addiction society in Italy did to me is to put me in this place, because that was the beginning of everything.
Okay.
Because in that moment you need your family with you, no?
Especially in your instance where
In
you're
my-
already almost traumatized by them not being
Yeah.
there for you before. Okay, so I guess it would help if you then go on from there, because my thinking was going to be, well, why was that a bad thing to be away, right?
Yeah.
So did it help you in any way, or what's happening at this point?
Like of course they thought they were going to help me, but so basically after like 1 week or two in that psychiatric hospital, they put me back on my feet, and from there with a car to this rehab, and was a rehab for like mental health people and drug addicts combined. No, like if you are a drug addict and you have also mental health, so you go in these places.
Okay.
So, and at the end I was the only minor there, because they were starting a program for minors, and I was the first. So I was with like in Italy it works like this. Usually in these rehabs, like you get caught to do for doing something bad with the law, like I don't know, you are selling drugs or you hurt someone. So you go to prison first, and then let's say they give you 4 years of prison, and after 2 years or 3, when you are in prison, they will say to you, okay man, if you want, you can spend your last year outside prison in these rehabs, so you can cure your problems, fix your addictions, and then get back to your normal life. No, it's like a step. It's not like prison and then boom, normal life, but it's
Right.
prison, softer step, you can be better, and then normal life. So basically in this rehab, I was 16 or 16 and a half, and there were only like men from 30 to 40 that came out from prison.
Yeah.
And to spend the last year there, so it was pretty strong. I remember I was in high school, selling marijuana, doing my things, of course using heroin, but it was a pretty easy.
Yeah, so that's like struck you. It's like, okay, this is actually the real world. Again, I guess it comes back to those other two moments when you were younger. Okay, this is like the real world, and then even though it's still a serious situation you're in, I think reality still hasn't really struck you. But then I think once you're placed in that environment with other criminals, or I say other criminals, but when you're placed with criminals, it's like, okay,
that's a real world too.
Yeah. Okay, so then you're there for, was it 2 years, is it? So
No.
16 to 18, or?
Yeah, so I was supposed to do that, but at the end I stayed there less than 1 year, because all these guys at the end, we became friends, of course, and they teach me everything about the criminal life and how about drugs, about how to make money in illegal ways. And also they said like, Rocco, when you will be 17, you can go away from here and no one can put you back, no? Because at 16 they cannot, but at 17 you are more close to your 18, and somehow they cannot.
Right.
Because at the end I didn't do nothing wrong to anyone, just to myself, no? And so I was really angry with the society, with my parents, that like, why you let them do this to me, you know? And so from that moment, so I waited my 17th birthday, and one night I escaped from there and went back to Florence with a train, and said to my mother like, hey, let's you can take me back home, no, like you can, no, but and at the end she did that. So I was back home, but I started to, after 1 or 2 months, I started to use again and again and again until I was 18. So I stayed at the end almost 1 year at my mother's place, started to go back to school again, and, you know, trying again to fix my life. But then the calling from heroin was too strong. You know, at the end, if you don't fix the things inside you, no, that pain, that hole that you have, you can go anywhere. You will cover it again and again. Yeah.
Makes sense.
And that's what happened like from 17 or 8, when it was 17 or 18 until 23, was like, I tried many, many times in many, many ways to quit, and it doesn't work. So from there, for example, my father moved back to Stockholm, Sweden. So he said, okay, you should come here, no? So you are far away from your environment back in Florence, because that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I said, yeah, of course, that makes sense. Let's do that. So I went to Stockholm to him, and fuck, after 2 months, I already knew where the like the dealers were, and the dry. It's like, as I said, have this devil inside that guide your decisions somehow.
But that's the thing, if you want it badly enough, because my mentality was the same. Okay, if you go to a new country, you don't have those dealers' numbers, you don't have these contacts, these old friends. But then I think if you really want it that bad, you will find a way. And it sounds like you did as well, right?
Yeah, you will always find a way. And then was cool, because my father is a pretty strong, was pretty strong with me, no, like hard. So he said, okay, Rocco, you came to Stockholm, but if one day you will come back home high, no, doesn't matter which drug, but come back home high, I will take your passport and kick you out from the house. So maybe you will understand something. And I said, yeah, of course, but no problem. I will not be high. And after 2 months in Stockholm, in the winter, it's pretty cold. No, it's like minus 15 degrees. So it's not the best country to like stay out, no, in the night.
No.
So one day I felt like that I want heroin so badly. And of course you forgot about, or you don't care about what your father says, you know. About,
yep.
Yeah, and I went out to this, drug dealer place, this square called T-Centralen, is like the main train station in Stockholm. I find heroin, I use it, and then after a few hours I get back home. And of course my father saw me because I wasn't talking, you know. I couldn't talk. And he took my passport, give me a backpack, and put like my clothes inside, and like, get out. And
wow.
So I said, okay. And then I started to live in the street in Stockholm and find many ways to like do the money to eat and to buy the drugs. So asking money around to the people, or stealing clothes in big malls, no, and then selling back the clothes again in the streets. And yeah, basically these things. I never wanted to hurt someone. So all the ways that I found it to get the money were good ways, no? Like,
Wow. And you must have adapted really quickly then to this new sort of environment or way of living. So how long were you sort of homeless for, and what were your initial thoughts? Did you think, were you like, okay, you know what, this is what I need? Or was it more like, oh shit, but I guess I'm gonna have to survive? Like, what was going through your head at that point?
actually didn't care, because after that year in that rehab, no, at 17, I was so angry with the world. So after like survived to that, was because it was pretty hard in that rehab, really hard, and after that, so I really didn't care about anything. So even sleeping outside, or if my father kicked me out, yeah.
Do you think the rehab would have worked if there weren't criminals there, or do you think either way the rehab was just never going to work? And was that because of the rehab facility, or was it because of your mindset at the time?
No, I think it's not about criminals there or like the people inside there. It's about timing, no, because rehabs are really important. At the end, I did 7 rehabs, and the last one works. So rehabs are the best thing you can do to help someone in that condition, but you have to think about the timing of the rehab. If you put the right person in a rehab in the wrong moment, like for me, like too early, you're gonna boost his addictions and his shit. If you put the right person in the right moment in the rehab, you will save his life.
Is it possible to know when it's too early or when it's the right time? Or is this just trial and error?
No, I think it's possible. It's possible if you have people that help you. Let's say doctors, no, good ones that really cares about you, and so like they can know, because they will know your family and take a lot of information, speak to you a lot, know you deeply, and then decide maybe with your family, well, okay, maybe that's the right moment for him. Let's do that. Boom.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So you're homeless, and then I presume from there you're going right into rehab again, then homeless, then rehab, and you're moving about. Does that summarize your journey pretty well? Just on and off? Okay.
Yeah, on and off, and also in other countries, because I went back from Sweden to at the end, after 4 months or 5 months around the street in Stockholm, I couldn't handle it anymore. So I said to my father, like, okay, I got the lesson. So please help me to go back to Italy in another rehab, because I'm dying like this. So we did that, and I went back to Italy in another rehab. And then from there, I started getting better. And after that rehab, I asked to my parents, okay, please, I will change the environment again. I will go to Spain. And I'm going to the Canarias island in Las Palmas de Gran Canaria.
Beautiful place.
Beautiful place, yeah. Like to work. I will find a work, I will find a job, and I will be fine. And they were excited, and me too. So I went there. And again, after a couple of months, I did a mess also there. And back in Italy in the rehab.
I mean, that's like, to find it there, I mean, it's such like a relaxed island, right? But it's because I've been there myself. But to find any type of drugs, I think it's obviously, marijuana, I think you can get pretty much anywhere, right? But yeah, that's in a bad way, that's kind of impressive that you managed to somehow find it. But it just goes to show how strong the drug is.
Yeah, I think every place it depends which perspective you see a city or an island. But for a drug addict, he can find it everywhere. No.
You know where to look.
Yeah.
Okay, and then so you end up back, and looking back, do you think your dad made the right decision to say, right, learn your lesson, go
Yeah.
out? Yeah, that was a wake up call.
That was a perfect decisions. I think for understand things, for people in that situation like me, you need to like crush your head to some walls, strong walls, no, like these ones, for example. And there was one day, otherwise you don't understand.
Yeah.
Because if you're home and your mother is there, no, you're gonna be all right. No, you will continue and continue and continue. The lucky, yeah.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say, from my observation, it seems like it's so difficult, right? Because on the one hand, you were saying how being away from your parents was very, very difficult for you in the past. But then on the other hand, it's like you kind of need a wake up call at some stages. So I can just imagine how difficult it is. I don't think there's one right answer, right? It's just, in your case, it was a case of, right, this happened and it all came together to form your journey, which is really interesting. I wonder then, okay, so you keep on trying, and it's, super difficult. At what point did you have the eureka moment, or what was the difference there? How did that come about?
So I was, at that point, I was living in the street again in Tuscany, in a small city called Prato. And it's like a zombie city, no? It's a city full of all the drug addicts go there. I occupied a building. When you enter, like, was an abandoned building. And me and other guys, we go in, put some lockers, and then start to rent all these apartments inside the building to drug dealers and to like homeless like us, asking to money in exchange or to drugs in exchange. No.
And how old are you at this point?
22.
22, okay.
Yeah, 22. So that's what was our business there. But so one day I was running out of money, and I go out from the building, start to ask people around, because I was pretty in a bad shape at that moment, 58 kilos.
Wow.
Yeah, now I'm 80, so
58.
I was bad, and so I started to ask money around. Like, hey, do you have €1? I have to take the train or something like that. I was really bad. I needed to heroin, really bad. And so at the end, I got like €20 coin in my hand, and I called the dealer, and I was walking to the dealer, to take my dose. So and then one guy came close to me. And say, hey man, are you going to take the drug? Are you going to take heroin? And because of that environment, full of zombies and drug addicts, for me it was a quite normal thing. So I said, yeah, of course. You want to come? I say, yeah, of course I'm coming. And then after, like, when I saw the dealer over there was pretty close, and in his pocket, like the police radio, like shh, 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 this sounds like I hear these sounds. So he was a covered
undercover policeman
guy.
Okay.
And I was really hungry, really angry with him, because I said, fuck, why you came to me? You look that I'm like dying, but go to the bigger guys, go to the to the real drug dealers. Don't come to me to ruin my day, let's say. And then I tried to punch him, and when I tried to punch him, like, he was of course with a team, with the other police guys
Right.
covered. So they start to punch me and to, you know, hit me with the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then all my money is, I got the money in my hand, no? So imagine the scene. The drug was there, the money was here, and they started to hit me. So I lost the money in the ground, and then I went on my knees, and they continued to hit me.
Oh.
One guy in particular, and then at the end my face were covered of blood, and they continued to hit me. And then the guys, like there were 4 at the end, and the 3 of them taking that guy that was continuing to hit me like away from me, no? And at the end he said like, okay, like you have 2 choices now. You take back your money, we will arrest you for trying to hit us, and or you leave the money there and you go away. And so I processed that really quick, and I say, okay, fuck it, I will leave the money. And so I wake up, I get up, and I go away straight to the train station. I took the train to Florence. It was like a 20-minute drive. I called my mother and I said, okay, please come to the train station. I'm pretty bad, in a bad shape. They beat me up, so please come to the station. And she came, and I remember this is one of the strongest scene of my life, because I'm in the middle of the station with a lot of people. I hug her knees. So I was on the ground hugging her knees like, please take me back home. Please, please, please. I can't go back in that town, in that building, and doing that. Please, please, please. And she pushed me away. Say, like, she looked at me like really in a, really bad way. Like, no, like, you choose this life. I can even see you like that, no? Bam. And she walked away. And so from that moment, I realized like, okay, I'm gonna do that now by myself. No, I'm gonna do that. So from that moment, I went back to the doctors, to the old doctors, and say to them, okay, you need to help me. This time will be different. No, because at that time I did many rehabs before, and they wasn't like happy to help again. And I started to sleep outside their office, their doctor's office, sleep there for 2 weeks, showing them like, I'm not moving from here until you send me to the rehab again. And so after 2 weeks, they sent me to the last rehab. Yeah.
Okay. And then was it, so coming back that moment with your mother, was that a thing like, do you know what, that was like, okay, if even my mum is rejecting me now, because I presume she hadn't done that strongly in the past. It was like, oh, come on, maybe you should do this, but this was like a no, like, I don't want to see you like this.
Yeah.
Was that a thing like, right, I've got to go and prove, I need to go and prove her that, okay, I can do this. That was a flick in the switch, right? That's when you thought this has to be done.
Yeah, exactly. Because at the end, also my mother in that moment, she did the right thing. Because, with strong addiction like this, at the end, you will ruin not only your life, but you will ruin your family, your parents, your friends, your everyone lives. So I'm happy that she did that.
Yeah.
And not the funny thing is that now, even with my mother and my father, we have the best relationship ever. No?
Beautiful.
We are friends, and it's cool.
Yeah. And I guess, and the rehab, I presume, was probably similar. They did the same thing as they did in the others, but this time you were actually ready to absorb all the information. Is that right?
Exactly. And to work a little bit deeply on myself. So there I started for real to do I started the job on like going deeper and deeper and deep and deeper to discover where, like, why I have this hole inside, why I need to cover, where is this pain coming from? And so I started to do that job inside there with some psychologists, but they gave me a lot of medication, include methadone and a lot of stuff. I was smoking like 2 packages of cigarette every day, but still I was doing this inside work. And then one day I something click, and was that day that I discovered, oh fuck, but so it's because of the death of my, the brother of my mother, and then they get divorced and I felt lonely. I start to put the pieces in the right spot and to feel motivated, and I started to know myself a little bit better, and I discovered a lot of strength inside me, because even to do this kind of things, to go deeper like this into drugs, addictions, to sleep in the street, try to kill yourself, you need to have a lot of strength even to do that. So I said, but if I have this strength inside, I can use this strength in a better way for one time, so let's do that. And I said, yeah, let's do that. And I said to them, or to all the rehabs, like doctors and operators, I said, okay, I decided that I will quit from tomorrow all the addictions. So nicotine, cigarettes, all the medication you are giving, I don't want this shit anymore. Stop. Please let me try my way. So I will run. The rehab was in the top of a hill, inside the bush, inside in nowhere. And so I said, okay, I will run every time I will feel an addiction in my mind, like I want a cigarette. I will put the shoes and run as fast as I can. And that's where I discover sport, So that's a cool thing. And so if I want a painkiller or a heroin or a cocaine, I will run. No matter when, like during the night, during the lunch, dinner, I don't care, I will run. And they say, well, fuck, Rocco, you are crazy, you can't do that, no one did that. And I said, yeah, but that's why I want to try it, let me try. They say, okay. So I tried. So for like 2 months and a half, like for 70 days, I ran like a crazy guy, but like 10 times, 15 times per day in one direction. So the challenge, like the rules with myself were, okay, if you feel an addiction, put your shoes on, choose one direction and run as fast as you can until your energy goes down, like you can't do it anymore, and you will lay on the ground for a while, and then you go back. No, back to the like normal, like in the rehab.
Right.
And I did that. And yeah, and after 70 days, first of all, I was a really pretty good runner.
Bet you were.
And I discovered actually how, sports will help you in, your mental health, and you feel stronger, and you look stronger in the outside, but also in the inside, you feel the same. And they like were super proud about me. Like they said, fuck, you are crazy, but you are you did that, man. And so they said at that point, okay, Rocco, you know what, we're gonna help you to go back to your family house. So we're gonna help you to get back in contact with all your family. We will ask them to come here. We will tell them what you did, and we will help you with that. I said, thank you. And we did that. And so was pretty short in that rehab, because they helped me with that. And I say hello, and I went back to my mother's place for the weekends first. So just few weekends, and then back to the rehab. And they test me, my blood and my urines. Clean. So again, back for a weekend, back to the rehab. And then after a few months, like fully back there.
Okay. And then I guess from there, that's when you started to rebuild your life, right?
Yeah, and yeah.
And I presume once you realize that was working, at that point you're like, was it a mindset change? Okay, I don't even want to go back there anymore because
Exactly.
I don't, even a hit of heroin is not going to be it's not worth it, right? Whereas before, because you didn't have any hope, it was like, okay, I may as well do this because it's the only time I'm going to feel like my worries go away.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, so much to sort of unpick there. And I guess since then, you've sort of built your life back up and now you're doing online coaching, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, so from that moment I turned on the rocket and yeah, start to rebuild everything. I had like no friends, no girlfriend, no phone, no car, nothing. And so that's why I said, okay, now like show to yourself and to everybody that, I mean, if you pass through the drug addiction and you came out from it in a pretty particular way and you're alive, you're good, no disease, you're healthy, like you can do everything.
Yeah.
You can do everything. So from that moment I start to study again, take back my high school degree really quick. I did like 3 years in one. Wow. And then I start to do the personal trainer, and then I start to study again coaching and nutrition coaching, and start to work at the gym as a like trainer. And after that I wasn't happy enough, so I start to build my online coaching business and start to travel. And I went 7 months around South America working online. Then, but my business was pretty homemade at that point,
right?
No? As we say, like in an Italian way. But working remotely actually, and with the things you love, was a pretty cool thing, because somehow I attract many clients. You know, when you have problems with weight or with like your body don't look good somehow, it means that you have something, like not the 100% of the time, but most of the time, that there is something wrong even inside. No? And so the first step, the easiest step, is to take care of your body, so your health, your training and nutrition, and then you can go deeper. So I attract a lot of clients with addictions.
Okay, because you've been sort of through that journey yourself and you understand the mentality, and actually there's more to it than just the basics, right? I think in your instance, you know, it was when you went deeper that you sort of removed the need for all this sort of external stuff to influence your mood and that type of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. It's just, I think all of that's just incredible. I think such an inspiration. I think the fact that sort of you can go from, would you say, sort of almost, trying to kill yourself, hoping that you wouldn't wake up the next day, to then battling through addiction after addiction and then coming out the other side. It's like incredible.
Thank you, man.
Super fucking motivating. If anyone's listening to that and think, I mean, I've got some friends, right? And they think, some people are 24 and they think that they've wasted their potential already, which is crazy, right? How old are you now?
I'm 32.
32. And it's like you've basically achieved your dream now of, you know, being an online coach, living remotely, doing what you love. It's just incredible. And I think it shows no matter where you are at in life, you can find a way out, you can progress. I guess, in your instance, it was just a case of, right, having that moment of, I want to change and this is it. And then going on and on and on, and then just doing those small things every day. Because all of this stuff, it didn't happen overnight, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like you've literally gone from, you've got rid of your addiction and then you're building your life back up. I think it's important people realize, like I said, it hasn't been an overnight thing. This has been you showing up every day for yourself, just getting a little bit better every single day, right?
You can rebuild like your life again and again as many times as you want. If you're in your 20s, even, like, it's perfect, no? You have the energy, you have the time, and yeah, definitely.
Yeah, 100%. And a quick one, because the thought has entered my mind.
Yeah.
You said your relationship with your parents is amazing now.
Yeah.
Fantastic. What has their reaction been to seeing your turnaround, really?
Yeah, I think like an amazing reaction. I guess at one point they stopped to believe that I could, actually make it. So when I did it, and was a big relief for everyone. And yeah, and I think part of my healing also came from to have that I fixed my relationship with them in a second moment, because that's really important. I think half of our problems came from our past, from our childhood, from our parents.
Absolutely.
So to fix this, it's a crucial part, for everyone. So I always recommend to my friends or, people that I care, when they talk bad about, their parents, like about my dad, my mom, my relationship with my mom is like that. I don't want to talk to her or to him anymore. Like, say, hey man, you don't understand how important it is for you to actually face these things and to even accept it. No, if the relationship with your parents is not something that is good for you, that's fine. Accept it and move on, but accept it and find a way to stay in contact with them and move on, or face it and fix it. I decided to face it and fix it, and with both of them.
Okay, that's brilliant. Yeah, we're out of time.
Okay.
But again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And yeah, quick one, which I finish off the episodes with, is your favorite song at the moment that you would recommend to everyone listening.
Okay, Maria. What's the?
Is it Fred again? Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Maria. I think that's the one, right?
It's like the dancing, Maria dancing stuff.
We're just dancing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
yeah, I think we got the right one.
Yeah, makes me in a good mood.
Yeah.
But thank you, man, for receiving me here. Appreciate it.
Mate, such a pleasure. What a story. Rocco, again, thank you so much, buddy.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.